This collector of all things, and today I'd like to share with you another figure, and this one happens to be a figure I've had for a little bit of time in my collection, and it's one of my favorites. This happens to be from G.I. Joe, and the figure's name is Budo, and this is the version 3. What I'll try to do is maybe throw in a couple of pictures of the other versions right about now. And as you can see, this model has gone through a couple of evolutions, and this one happens to be my favorite look for this character. Budo at one point did come with a character card, and I'll put up the card right now so you can see it and you can actually read through it. So let's look at the character and see why I like it so much. This is of course from the G.I. Joe line, the 3 1/4 size, and if you take a look at him, you'll see that he is articulate. You can actually bend him and move him, although not as articulate as the old G.I. Joes were, but he's got swivel. You could swivel his arm separately, his wrist and where his elbow is, but it doesn't have a full bend. It won't go a full 90 degrees. His armor does kind of stop that. It does have a ball joint up here, and the same thing on the other side. His helmet does come off, and you see his face underneath, and he has that samurai type wrap on his on the back of his head. And I think that with the face sculpt itself, for the size of figure, I think they did a great job. His armor itself is all separate. You can actually take it off if you want to go through that trouble. I've never gone through that trouble to take it off or to try to remove it. His legs, he's got, you know, a double knee joint right here, but it doesn't bend further because of the armor that he's wearing. He's got on his foot also a nice little joint there that will bend it up and forward. The leg does not swivel, but it does go out. Of course, it's restricted by the clothes. But you know what? The idea of this figure is actually the clothes that he's wearing. And of course, he has his 2 swords that come out right there. I mean, there's nothing overly spectacular about the swords themselves or the figure. It's just how it all comes together. I'm a huge G.I. Joe fan of the action figures and, you know, of the old cartoon, growing up with it. And this figure, being a samurai warrior, I think, you know, brings 2 loves together. Now, there's some things that, you know, I would have liked they have done differently, like maybe color in the separate parts. But I've noticed online that there's some people that have been doing some customization of this figure, and it looks fantastic. So I think as a future project of mine, I think what I'll do is I will try and make this armor look more realistic. You know, I like to paint things, I like to customize things, and I think that will be a really neat project for me. So just looking at him, I can already see areas where I can actually improve on him. But other than that, I mean, even just as a character, as a figure like this, even the way the armor is with his amazing helmet right there, I think he brings across exactly the look that a samurai would look like, and the size and scale of this figure is pretty awesome. It's a neat little collectible that I really enjoy having part of my collection. So I hope you like the look at this samurai warrior from G.I. Joe, and if you did, don't forget to put a like. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe. And I want to thank all my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for spending some time taking a look at this neat little figure here.